Welcome everyone to another Ask Me Anything with Lorenzo, August 12th, 2021. As usual, our recurring Thursday AMA is here, and I'll be hosting. My name's Chris. You know me as tCATS. Lorenzo is waiting for your questions in the AMA question channel.
Hi,
We'll
everyone.
also try to keep an eye on Twitter and other platforms to see if any questions pop up there, and whatever we can catch. As a quick reminder, any question is fair game. We just encourage you to be as respectful as possible, though we welcome the hard questions. So if there's something you want to know and it's, an awkward question, feel free to ask. We do want to answer you.
In general, we have a policy of transparency, so literally any question you have is welcome all the time. We definitely know some of the things that our audience wants answered, and that is specifically when are the farms going to be live on mainnet. We do have answers for you, so stay tuned. I guess we're going to get to that very shortly anyway.
Yeah.
You take it away along with the format,
Mm.
Chris.
Sure. First of all, I haven't seen any questions, though Free80 is typing one in the AMA question channel. So I'm checking Twitter right now, and I'm going to load up Telegram in the background because maybe this will be easier on desktop to keep track of what massive amount of flood in Telegram comes in. But I haven't actually seen any questions yet, so we might just wind up talking. And I'm surprised because I expected to see a lot more questions.
Well, we have Chris that wants to speak, so let's invite
I
Chris.
tried to let him. I said yes every time.
Oh,
I
perhaps
have chosen invite to speak right there on chris.developer. So I don't know what's going on with that. And let me see if I can deny it and do it again or something. Chris, I'm going to try and remove you from the call, or you can leave the call if you can hear me. Leave the call and rejoin, and we'll see if we can get it working that way, because you should be able to join. I can also, Lorenzo, is Chris should we give him a staff role or anything like that?
Well, it's a little bit premature, but yes, basically, almost.
Okay.
We'll see.
All right. If we can't get it
Because
working, we'll do that.
right, we're recording now, so that's not exactly
Gotcha.
the type of things we should be discussing. We weren't recording before, but
Okay.
we are now.
Okay.
But yes, there's definitely going to be additions. We need more hands on several tasks, so we're going to be adding people to the staff on several roles. It's
Great.
one of the reasons why I haven't been talking much in the chat last few days, because I was talking to people.
Interviewing. Awesome.
And
So first of all,
yeah,
we have a question, and the question is from Free80 in the AMA question channel. And the question is, actually it's a three-part question. First of all is, how's staking update? Free80 would like to know an update on staking.
yes, staking is ready and is just about to be deployed to mainnet. The only reason we're not doing so is because we need to publicize the fact that we are. We need to get back the hype that we have, putting out the product and having it being little populated and underwhelming would be counterproductive. So on that thought, I have been talking to big trader groups, as in not crypto shilling groups, but actual, London-based traders for larger volumes with reputability, publications, and hundreds of thousands of paying subscribers, not YouTube subscribers. That's something we're beginning with immediately because we very much need it, and we're gonna have. Wait a second, I can't click around because I'm recording. But we're gonna have a bunch of publications and videos. They have a trading academy as well, in fact, with hundreds of thousands of people that participate in there as well. They're gonna put out signals for us. So there's definitely going to be a major effort coming immediately, basically. So first press release is due within 48 hours on that regard. And then the first long text article in their magazine is going to be by August 15th or 17th, one of the odd numbers. I don't remember.
Cool. Second part of that three-part question is, Free80 is bridged
So
some
Monday,
of...
sorry, wait, Monday. The farms release on mainnet Monday.
Okay. We have a date. Awesome. Cool. Second question is, Free80 would like to know that as a result of bridging some of the CATS bridging to a different network, I assume this is Phantom, from ETH, what is my advantage if I hold tCATS? So
You have opportunities. For example, arbitrage. I was actually noticing yesterday among the developer call that we were having actually that there was a big arbitrage opportunity yesterday between the two listings. For example, this is when the price on the two chains differs significantly. So on Uniswap it was at 2.3 cents, while on Spiritswap it was at 3 something cents. So that's a pretty significant difference, since you can buy them in one place and sell them in the other. That is one of the advantages that you get from this, basically. The other advantage is that you get lower fees in transactions interacting with Spiritswap. But quite honestly, it's something that we need to discuss with our audience, because also given the fall in price, and therefore in the liquidity that is in our pool on Uniswap, we might want to consider a vote on whether we want to stay spread out within two pools or to just aggregate within the single pool for the moment. It gives us more visibility to have a more solid basis on Uniswap.
mm-hmm. Yeah, it's possible we'll at some point take a vote or just make a decision to move liquidity depending on how things go. I'm sure we can make everybody whole depending on the decisions we make, so we'll figure it out.
Well, the point is
Cool.
that we're not attracting that big of a community from having bridged on to Phantom, so maybe later, maybe.
Yeah. And we can always move liquidity back to the pool if it's needed.
Right.
Full transparency. All right, part 3 of Free80's question is, the NFT arena is look great. So Free80 is excited about NFT arena. Have you ever thought about making your own APK? So I guess this is a question about packaging for Android OS.
I guess that's a question for you, Chris.
Yeah, happy to answer that. The first priority for us in terms of NFT Arena is to make it a web app, which means that there is no reason we couldn't potentially, wrap the app and put it in an Android container. I don't see any particular benefits over using it in the web browser in that case, because unless we're talking about something like push notifications, the native experience in a browser would be as good as the native experience in an app in most cases for this. That being said, if our users demand it or need it for some reason, that would probably be the first step if they wanted some sort of slightly more consistent mobile support. But the idea really is, Free80, that we're just trying to make a web app, which means it's universally going to work on web browsers on your phone as well as, say on a desktop computer. And that means that it'll work just as well theoretically on your phone as an app would. So hopefully that answers that for you.
Probably
Cool.
does.
Yeah. Next question is from Crypto for Us, who is in the audience as well. Welcome, Crypto for Us.
Welcome.
Good to see you again. This project mostly advertised one-side staking of CATS, but now it's LP. When will we see one-sided CATS staking?
Well, we kind of see the LP as an upgrade for the moment, really, rather than downgrade. To be honest, the original plan was single-sided alongside the V3 listing, which there was a community vote with a heavy preference for V2, given the fact that this week hasn't gone that well. Perhaps we shouldn't have listened to the community after all, and have gone along with that. But we did. So for the moment, what the plan is to do with the LP for V2 for the first contract, which lasts 6 months. So it's epoch. It's 6 months. And within those 6 months, we're going to be deploying the upgraded version, which is basically the same thing. So it's still it's LP NFT staking, basically, of the Uni V3.
Yeah, so it would be double staking, essentially. You stake, you get a liquidity pool token, you stake that for node rights.
Right, so basically it gives you several layers of rewards. The first one being the LP rewards from trading. The second one being the yield, and the third one being the synthetics that you can stake again in the other contract for node rights for NFT Arena. And of course, in the longer term, you also can have it for governance, and governance will be actually worth something, so eventually governance will be important too.
For sure. Yeah, for people who want to be able to make decisions within the ecosystem where their money is invested,
Well,
that makes sense to me.
Assume the scenario in the future in which where everything has gone fine, we're big and successful and powerful, and there's a lot of money going through the exchange. Then having an influence on the levers on how much is printed in multipliers to the points to distributions that depend on the points is definitely an incentive to participate in those decisions. It's an important type of influence. So
For sure.
it definitely becomes worth something.
Cool. We have a question for Leone. Leone wants to know, how did you lock the liquidity for Uniswap?
Through Unicrypt service. Basically, it's a time lock service that connects to the trackers and all the likes, and proves to everyone that the LP is locked, that nobody can touch it, nobody can rock pool, at least for as long as that lock is in place, and it's been locked for a year.
All right, let's see. Leone would also like to know, how do you migrate in 6 months if liquidity is locked for 12, V2 to V3?
With more liquidity.
Let's see. I think that's all the questions actually so far. I don't see anything else on Telegram, and I don't see anything on Twitter yet, but I'll check again.
What else? What else can we talk about? We can talk about NFT Arena. There's been lots of progress with that. It's coming together pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's exciting doing work on that. We're using open source software to build the infrastructure, and the front end work that Whimsy is prototyping for us is very exciting. It's nice to see all the pieces coming together. We're dealing with currently making sure that it scales well, and that all the things that we want in it for the initial launch are there. And it's really exciting seeing this come together so quickly. It's great to see CATS utility being built like right on the spot in short term, like in a small amount of time, relatively speaking, for something so cool. So
Right. In time-wise, time is always difficult, because as soon as something changes, there's difficulties. You might need to find a specific person to answer a specific question. For example, the LP calculations. Now that we're doing LP staking, it's not the 50k tokens, but rather the representation of the 50k tokens in LPs that you're going to need to get the node rights. So boils down to the same amount. It's just going to be half in CATS, half in ETH, and that's going to give you about 70 with the decimals difference, LP tokens that you can then restake in the next contract that gets you the node rights. So that's how you get all three layers of the rewards, both the trading rewards, the yield, and the share profit from NFT Arena. Also, Blake, we're gonna have to do a lot of publications, so I hope that you're resting these couple of days, because I'm going to squeeze you as you've never been squeezed before.
Oh, that's very sweet of you, Lorenzo. Everyone likes a good squeeze.
So,
Okay.
what else? What else can we talk about? We have the farms, we have the nodes. The nodes, by the way, the nodes and NFT Arena's smart contract are actually built and delivered already. They're on our GitHub. And they only lack the auditing, which it was actually already arranged. And, 10 days time worth and should be done, so that we all have all of the smart contracts that we need, and we only need to finish up with the actual game part of it, which is of course already in progress.
Can you remember the name of the auditor? I can never remember their name.
CoinSpect.
CoinSpect, that's the one.
Yeah, they're actually very good auditors, surprisingly affordable. Considering the fact that the projects that they've been auditing are the likes of Ant V2 and Ledger and Liquidity Protocol.
Yeah, definitely some high profile clients there. It's nice to be associated with them.
Indeed.
Oh, we have another question from Crypto for Us as well. The question is, what is the team doing from a price point of view, as at the current price it seems staking will not be worth at all from investors' point of view? So I guess the question is, are we trying to raise the price of CATS, and will it be cost effective to do staking?
Well, yes, because staking is absolutely worth it, and it's absolutely beneficial to both the people participating and the price and the economy itself. That's why it's built like the way it is. That's why we're not just forking some pre-existing staking solution or farm that just does what the current one do, and ours is a little customized and gives you much greater depth of profit. Especially the first year, that has really good rewards, and that's very standard, but it allows you to get in on a profit share on NFT Arena, which is a pretty big deal, really. There's going to be a very limited amount. Its revenue is shared in equal proportions, so there's no preference. There's no allocation provided to anyone, so it's actually open. The moment it's not open anymore is when people have bought it, and right now it's really cheap to get it on a node. It only costs something like 1,200 something overall, given that we've kept the threshold of 50K in spite of the price drop. But think of what would that imply if we actually get the full capacity of the nodes. There's 500 of them. Imagine we get NFT Arena is interesting enough to get people to go get the nodes, given that they're so cheap. We get all 500 nodes covered. How many tokens is that? It's 50,000 tokens times 500. That is 25 million CATS tokens. There literally aren't that many in circulation. There's 11.5 in circulation. So,
yeah.
So
you will replace the price.
Right. We don't actually need 500 nodes to be covered. We need 100 nodes to be covered for the vast majority.
You mean for decentralization? Yeah.
for both for decentralization purposes from the start, but most importantly, think of 100 nodes. It's 50,000 per. So it's how much is it? Sorry, I'm tired. I'm gonna calculate it, even though I'm being recorded and it's a bad figure. It's 5 million tokens. So that would be 70% of the supply that is in the hands of people and not in the hands of the pools, of the circulating supply, right? That means that there would be 2,700,000 CATS remaining in circulation in total, which means that there's serious scarcity, just like this, like magic, okay? And the more nodes get taken, because they're still cheap and attractive, the more this scarcity increases. So this is how the token being highly available and cheap initially combines with the tokenomics and the schedule release, as well as with the staking solution. The staking solution basically blocks big chunks of the circulating supply for 6 months periods at a time, while the release schedule very much limits the amount of minting so that it can't be diluted, so that you have very clear periods in which the asset can be pumped in a lot because there's no tokens coming into circulation in any situation. So it's really a problem that we can't seem to get to harmony between the difficult things that we're doing and the narrative. We need definitely more hands. We need more people in community management. We need your help. You guys have been great with us from the start. We ask that you keep doing all that you've been doing, and if possible, do more. We'd love to get you involved. I'm speaking to Free80 and Crypto for Us in particular that have been our loyal fans since the beginning. We would love to have you as ambassadors or take up some more active role, because we need some help from you guys so that we can sustain ourselves, so that we can continue going and continue building. We need to turn around the negativity that has created since the listing. It's just an event. In perspective, it's not even that bad. We're gonna get through it easily.
Yeah, I'm not the least bit worried about the token price, to be honest. And there's this weird association that a lot of, I guess maybe it's an investor type of sentiment or whatever, but the success of a project is not in any way tied to the price of its token unless the entire purpose of the project is the price of its token. And for us, that is definitely not the case. So if the price dips, then really what you're saying is, hey, this is an opportunity. And beyond the arbitrage that Lorenzo mentioned earlier, that you could potentially do for profit making on your own right there, this is just an opportunity to buy in at a lower price and get more node rights for CATS and essentially get a money printer. So that's do it.
You get a bigger share of the revenue distributions from the revenue streams of NFT Arena, basically.
Yeah. So if the question is what can you get more. Yeah. If the question is what can the team do, really the question is what can all of us do, and that is to take advantage of the mechanisms that we've built to stabilize the price. This is a long-term plan. This is a very small part. This very exact moment is a very small part of a very long-term plan.
Right.
So
really the only
price volatility is part of that.
Really, the only difficulty in this is jump starting the chain reaction. Really, think of an avalanche. You need a big boom to move a lot of snow to make a big fucking mess.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to rally the team, the community, everyone around us. Let's rally together and move forward to the next objective, which, to the benefit of the people joining us, is Monday. Monday, the farms will be released on the mainnet. So
it's exciting. So close.
major product release that is going to connect basically all of the products and services that we're building now, past, present, and future, pretty much.
Yeah. As a quick summary of what we have in the technology space right now, there is the Merkle Tree airdrop at airdrop.cryptoarena.org, which people have collected a whitelisted airdrop from. We have a bot that's, in the Discord server that's really just custom built by Mason, which does all that type of collection, question and answer stuff. We should be using it right now, actually, but there's a small amount of questions. And we have the existing, so we'll soon have the farm and the front end for that as well. We had the CATS token pre-sale pages built into WordPress as part of our interface for initial purchases, and soon we're going to have farm.
Actually,
So
I have
these
a
are all.
question for you. At what point do we make the repository for NFT Arena Farm and all the associated contracts public?
So one of the nice things is that anything we're doing, because of transparency, we are essentially verifying contracts on Etherscan anyway. So technically, we've already open sourced in that capacity. So whenever we verify a contract, it's there.
It's not good enough. We want to open source on GitHub capacity too.
Sure, I'm all for that.
Just go check there,
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I can make sure that anything that's been open sourced through Etherscan essentially is also visible somewhere on GitHub in a public repository where you can find that. That makes sense to me. I'll find some time to do that maybe next week, if not sooner.
Thank you.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for bringing it up. It's important that we represent our presence that way, and it's good code too. I really would like to see people using what we've built and the entire community growing as a result of it.
Right. The farm itself, it has Synth built into it with very modern standards. It can be used for a million different things other than the one that we are using for. So definitely very good call.
Yeah. We have a developer, Sahib, who does really excellent front end code as well, and we're very proud of what he's done, which you're going to be seeing within the next few, by Monday, I guess, sometime. You'll be seeing his front end code, and it's just beautiful React. So I'm looking forward to having that open source as well. Next question was from Leone. Leone asked another question. Why not adjust after drop? I assume this is just the threshold for node rights for 50,000 cats. You can confirm or deny if that's not what you're referring to, but I assume that's what it is.
Adjust after what?
So Leone is saying, would you like to adjust the price of requirement for node rights? I think, but she's going to confirm that's what she's asking.
If I'm honest, you mean instead of making it 25,000 cats and the equal amount in ETH to be provided, up to 50,000 cats and the equal amount of ETH to be provided? That is a thought I've been having. I'm not gonna lie. The price drop has been significant, and doing that, basically doubling the requirement for a node, wouldn't be that bad. I would think the nodes are still pretty damn desirable.
Yeah, it's a good question. That way they're still a little exclusive. That way it's a little harder to, like from a security perspective, it addresses the ecosystem a little better from a decentralized, but by actual, heavy token holders. So that's a good question.
Indeed.
We just want to make sure we don't price anybody out by adjusting the price too much.
Well, price anybody out. Definitely, if you want to node, get your tokens now rather than after Monday, because it hopefully will cost you more after Monday, as it should.
That is certainly the hope. We want the token price to go up. Okay, we have another question. I missed it. Apparently, it came in the general channel instead. Blake, thank you, first of all, for making sure that Binary got verified on Discord. The question is, what will be the estimated APY for farming? And that's a very complicated question because that number will change.
First of all, it's APR. APY, it's when it's compounding, and this is not a compounding solution. auto compounding requires a rebalancing, and rebalancings don't work in combination with locks. So that's why. APR is dependent on the amount of people that participate. So the reward is 1 million tokens for the first 6 months. For the first 6 months actually, because it's 2 million for the first year, but it's 6 months epochs. So it's 2 million divided by 2 periods of 1 million each. That is very sizable. Consider that the amount of tokens that are in circulation between the current holders is like 7.7%, and this is 1%. So it's a lot of rewards. It's very big, and the actual rewards that you will get from your tokens depend on the number of participants, because the rewards are fixed, and the amount of participants that are sharing those rewards is not fixed. So if there's one person in the farm, that person gets a ridiculous amount of tokens. If there's 100 people, it's going to be balanced instead, and it's going to be good rewards.
Yeah. We're rewarding, I think it's 10 CATS per block, and that's going to be divided between everyone. And while it doesn't sound like much, that's every 15 seconds. So that's quite a lot.
No, every
over
13 seconds. Rinkaby is 15.
Sorry. Yeah. Approximated somewhere between 10 and 19 seconds, I think, is the range there for mainnet block generation. So yeah. But
speaking of verification, Binary, were you having troubles with Authentifier?
Yeah, I saw a lack of response from the logs, which is how I knew that Binary was unable to get in. But I guess Blake granted the verified role manually.
Well, you see, I was having actually troubles with it earlier as well. A person that I invited that joined the channel that was getting kicked, I invited it again and gave it verified status manually. I'm literally admin, and the person got kicked out anyway.
Yeah, so what happens is this. If you start manual verification, there's a clock of 10 minutes for that verification to complete. So even if a role is granted during that time, it doesn't override that you started verification, and then in 10 minutes the user will be kicked by the bot. So
damn bot. We need to harness the bot somehow, because obviously it's keeping real people out.
Okay.
That's a problem.
So it sounds like Leone says that Sohaib stopped the bot from automatically kicking users in 10 minutes. I guess that's fine. So.
Well, yeah, let's at least keep an eye on it. Maybe there's going to be other problems with it. Identify's been a bit of a nightmare.
Well, the problem with identifying bots is that it's exactly what it does. It goes in and it goes, hey, you've got essentially a token connected to Discord, and you need to associate it with a single sign-on for another service. And those services are, say, Discord, YouTube. I'm sorry, not Discord, Twitter, YouTube, whatever. And as soon as you essentially talk to the other service, the callback goes to the Discord bot and goes, hey, this user is associated, and just automatically verifies them. I have never actually had a problem doing this in any testing. I've never gotten it to not work unless I tried it. A Twitter account that was like 2 or 3 days old, or if I just didn't do the verification at all. Everything else has worked. I've never actually had a problem. So I would like feedback on what problems people are having. So Binary, if you don't mind me reaching out after this call, I'm happy to engage with you directly. I'll send you a direct message. I'll send you a wave right now. Hopefully you can get it. Yeah. We'll discuss what happened in your experience, and I want to make this better for everyone as a result of the negative experience you had.
All right. Do we have any other questions coming up?
I don't see any more. Checking Telegram again. Nope. I think we're caught up.
All right. So a little recap. The farm's coming out on Monday. The next 2 contracts are ready. The only thing that they need is an audit. The audit is being arranged and should be done within 10 to 2 weeks, as in 10 days to 2 weeks, not 10 weeks. The NFT trading cards game, NFTArena, is also being built. It's been the second week of development. There's several more ahead of us, about a month, perhaps a little more, for the first playable version. So 4, 5, 6 weeks, something like that, and a couple more weeks for the completed full length version. What else?
Excellent.
What else? We have a ton of new pretty things being made, graphics, explanatory materials. There's a lot of complexity to our solution, and using, you know, in this space, there's a lot of variation using the same terminology, which makes it difficult for projects to explain themselves to their audience, because their audience think that they know already, while it's just named similarly because it's conceptually similarly, but it doesn't actually work the same way. So we definitely need to explain everything a million times and a million times more and a million times better. So that's also a main focus.
Yeah, I mean, the crypto vocabulary is kind of almost a joke at times. The idea that staking and farming and all these terms are just some very specific precision description of things is quite fallacious, because like some of these terms have been repurposed for crypto. Some of them are ambiguous. I mean, even the term Web3 is kind of bullshit, honestly. Like, sorry for my French there, but we like someone somewhere identified that just an Ethereum MetaMask transaction should be the next generation of the decentralized web is magically as a result of Ethereum. And I like that idea, but there's no standard for that. Web 2.0 had standards. There was a whole committee thing that went through. Someone just sort of defined Web3 like almost arbitrarily. So we're embracing it and turning it into crypto vocabulary, but there is no standardization around these terms. They've sort of been crowdsourced. So it's up to us to define things with specificity and choose our source of truth for that.
Right,
So
not even
we'll
just crowdsourced, but each of the sources kind of means whatever the source wants it to mean. In our case, it's ownerless and free of special interests.
Yeah, I mean we're doing our best to be transparent and give essentially ownership away to the people who support the product, which is just a really exciting thing. Lorenzo, we have another question that came in. I know it's we were wrapping up, but Tripfrog wanted to know if there's plans for more NFTs, and I think that's a fun one to answer before we go.
Yes, there are plenty. It's still kind of being arranged, so that's why I wasn't talking about it, but that's one of the other people that I'm trying to onboard, is a graphic designer. And at the same time, we're also trying to strong arm Whimsy Games into working with us on NFTs a little more, because their art department is just great.
Yeah, they do beautiful work. It's right there on the whimsygames.co's website. I'm going to post that link so you can see.
Right, basically.
Oh, I see. Yeah, thank you, Blake, for clarifying what 24 pixels means. The idea of posting an NFT to your profile as an avatar or something like that.
Yes,
for
indeed.
special services.
That is actually what we were talking about. Yes.
Yeah, I spent half an hour after midnight working on that just yesterday, so we're talking about it for sure.
So
we have thoughts
through all of that.
That's okay. I appreciate your feedback on the document. So yeah, we have more to do. We're excited about what we're doing now. We're not slowing down. If anything, we're actually accelerating as we can onboard more people. And we've raised funds, so we have the capacity to do these things, which is fantastic. And thank you all for making that possible.
Absolutely. NFTArena will be delivered. It will be pretty damn amazing. It will be marketed properly, and we have a bunch of campaigns that will go before, during, and after, really.
Yeah. We have a lot to do, but we're doing it, and we're growing the team to meet those needs, because you need these things, you want these things, and we want to give them to you.
right. That
I
covered.
think that's all the questions.
That covered a lot of things, I would think.
Cool. Let me wrap it up.
Is there anything else that was asked, perhaps throughout the week, on other channels, Leonie and Blake? Perhaps something we missed that we should address.
Leonie jokingly asked when staking.
Monday.
Yeah, I think we're good. Yeah, Monday indeed. I think we're good. We can wrap it up if you want to pause recording. Get that uploaded.
Thank you, everyone. See you next week.
Thanks, everyone, for your time. By the next time we talk, we'll have some big news. We'll have stuff in production.
Yeah, I already had opened the thing, so the recording is now going to have the console of it open. So let's say goodbye again. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
See you next week.
Till then.